Good day, everyone, and welcome back to our Actions Technical Conference. For the second year, we will be delivering a ton of awesome content on all things programmability, APIs, and automation. I'm a little bit concerned about the technical difficulties that we might face because of a virtual delivery, but nonetheless, we will have an amazing event in these couple of days. Hopefully next year we can go back and meet in the usual physical location as we did last year. Today, I'm here to talk about the API economy. And yes, I mean a session focused on the business value proposition of APIs. You might be wondering if I really mean that, if I really mean business. Yes, this is a business session. And yes, I'm going to be talking about margins, and I'm going to be showing charts, and I'm going to be showing a lot of things that might not be immediately interesting for a technical audience. But you know what? It's not always about what we, the technical audience, want, about what we need. We always need to go with our commercial peers, with our CTOs, with the non-technical peers that we usually work with. And we need to demonstrate what is the value of APIs, what is the monetization flow that they will need to participate in if we want to be successful together. So when we try to explain others what APIs mean and what is the business value proposition around that, it's not usually this environment, right? It's not like everyone says, yes, I get it, let's go selling. It's more like this, like, hey, you know what? Convince me. Just change my mind about how I can really monetize APIs. So that's why we are here today. I want to make sure that you have the right ammunition to actually talk to your peers, to make sure that the commercial teams are on board with you. And I want to make sure that you have the right presentation and messages that you can use to convince someone like your account manager so that you can go together and sell APIs. So this presentation is not for you, but it's a good tool for you. And the way that I expect everyone to use it, it's the following. Think about how the industry is changing, how all the industries are becoming driven and eaten by software, why software is basically everywhere, and how this poses a challenge in terms of the complexity around software, but also an opportunity. And this opportunity is what we are going to address here today. But why should you care? Why does your account manager, why does the commercial people care about this or should care? Well, basically because in your customers, any company is structured in a very similar way to what you are seeing on the screen. Different departments in the company. You have line of business owner, sales, marketing, HR, finance, and IT. The part on the right, the departments on the right, HR, finance, and IT, are departments that are cost centers. And yeah, IT, the usual people that we sell to, the owners of the infrastructure, those are cost centers, meaning that they are optimized for cost reduction. This means that if they spend less money, they're successful. Their management is happy. Those are the traditional buyers that we usually sell to. On the left part of the screen, you have the line of business owners, the sales and marketing departments, and those are optimized for innovation. They produce revenue. And that's actually where the money is. That's actually where they develop something and they provide something that it's useful for the company per se. It's something that they use to access their customer base, their target customer range. So they are optimized for innovation, meaning if they generate more revenue, no matter if they spend more, then they are successful. So that's basically where the money is. And those line of business owners, the people generating actual applications, are driven by developers. Developers are kingmakers. They are the ones actually developing something that is useful, like, for example, the interface into a global audience via the internet. But your account manager might be wondering, what is an API? There are a lot of misconceptions around what APIs are. So what is an easy way for you to explain them what an API is? Well, basically, you can explain them that an API is a contract in between systems. It's not something that you use to configure a system yourself, a human being, but rather how your computer, for example, might communicate with your network infrastructure. And it's very, very good for repetitive work. Your computer might be asking the network infrastructure to do something, a request, and then the network infrastructure would do as requested and responds with an OK message or not OK if something went wrong. So the API is used to request actions to get performed, to get information from the infrastructure, or to store information or change configuration in that infrastructure. So this is a very easy way to understand what is an API. Then you need to explain to your account manager, for example, how can APIs help winning sales? Well, I think there are three main pillars where APIs can help you. The first one is they help you differentiate your offering. If your APIs and the offering that you can create on top of that is different or more comprehensive or more robust than your competition. It can also help removing blockers, basically defining what can be done even if a platform off the shelf cannot do it. And then it can also help addressing new business challenges, like things that your customers are concerned about. Sometimes it might not be even related or look like it's related to technology, but APIs can help you address those specific business challenges. Your account managers might be listening to your customer every day and listening to their deal hurdles. So what are these common deal hurdles? One of them might be, hey, you know what? I'm interested in this project, but I don't have enough resources. I don't have enough people to deploy this new infrastructure. Well, APIs can help them, can help your customer collecting information about what is in the network, automate the migration of configurations, and accelerate any kind of deployment that they want to do. They can also go with unique business capabilities, meaning that there are things that the platform cannot do off the shelf, but that you can implement via APIs. And you as a partner can do this in a very, very easy way using APIs and innovation on top of those APIs. You can also make sure that these new capabilities are not specific to a customer or to a vertical. You can replicate and reuse it in many other customers. Another common deal hurdle is, you know what, the project or the platform that you're presenting to me is incompatible with existing systems. Well, that's not the case for a platform that has a very good and strong comprehensive set of APIs, because you can do these custom integrations very quickly. And this is not limited to any kind of well-known systems. You can basically have a platform that is used for the future in any kind of these integrations. More common deal hurdles, you know, I cannot work on new things because I don't even know what I have in the network or what is out of support. Well, APIs can help you. APIs can help you by making the inventory collection very simple, and it can report on what is there and prioritize how you need to change because it's supported or unsupported, out of sale, out of life, end of life. So everything can be done there. You can also take a look at what is causing unexpected outages. You know, there is a problem in the network and you don't know what is happening. So APIs can actually help you with that. They can help you automating this change management. They can automatically help you predicting what changes are going to happen. You can just do auto rollback capabilities in your flows. So basically APIs enable all of these so that you can remove unexpected outages. And then another common deal hurdle, you know, I don't have people that are trained on the new solution. Well, if you're using APIs, those APIs are going to help you because you're going to be able to provide configuration to those new devices using a standardized format like an API instead of a proprietary CLI. So all of these are part of the common deal hurdles. So please ask your account managers, what should they listen for? Well, basically, they should listen for messages like, I can only purchase maybe 50% of what I plan because I don't have people to do it. Well, APIs can help. You should ask them to say, to listen to, hey, my engineers can work on this next project because they are busy supporting the last one. APIs can help you with that support process. We are on a change freeze. We don't know what happened last week, but there was an outage. And we need to make sure that there are no changes in the network because usually change means a fault, a network outage, and we cannot afford that anymore. APIs can help with that. Our developers are moving everything to the public cloud because we are too slow. How can we help them? Well, basically APIs enable the automated process of provisioning resources in the infrastructure as well, same way that we do in the public cloud. And another concern, another question, another sentence that you might be listening, another message. We really like your product, but it's got a gap feature. It cannot do X. So we need to take a look at other options. Well, here you also have the option to say, okay, we can implement that feature ourselves using APIs. So the 5 reasons to use APIs that you need to make sure that your account manager understands is simplification. We are looking to make sure that networks are as easy as possible to support, automating as much as possible all the different network management processes to drive efficiency and consistency so that we don't have snowflakes in our infrastructure. integration of different heterogeneous systems using API, like for example, using quality of service on collaboration platforms. Innovation, like creating things that did not exist before, like for example, the feature gaps that we mentioned or any kind of dashboarding capabilities. And at the end of the day, it's all about transforming your customers' business, the way that they operate their business. So the benefits, if they accomplish this, if they embed programmability in their strategy, is first of all, innovation and business agility. They will be able to do things like creating things that did not exist before, innovation, but also doing it as quick as possible. So the time to market of their solutions will be reduced. We will accelerate on the speed of innovation, so they will be able to bring things to market in a much more quicker way. We will be able to optimize all the services that the network provides to what needs to be done for the application. Remember, without the application, the network infrastructure does not make any sense. Applications are what give a meaning to the network. We will have an additional benefit of getting our engineers to focus on business relevant activities that actually are relevant, instead of going at 4 a.m. to a maintenance window and changing 100 routers under SNMP community strings. So that's not where we want to invest our brain power. We are not good at that. Human beings are not good at repeating tasks, tedious tasks, but we are very good at focusing on business relevant activities. We want to make sure that we reduce the cost of operating networks and increasing the efficiency so that we can do more with the same kind of resources. And at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we optimize the mean time to repair when there is a network outage, and also the occurrence, the frequency of the occurrences of these network outages. If we automate the whole process, the whole workflow, we will be able to make sure that there are as few network outages as possible. So how are Cisco partners, like Actions, benefiting from using programmability? Please make sure that your account managers understand this. These are numbers. Numbers, they love numbers. So what are the things that they need to understand? First is that IDC studies, for example, think about the programmability opportunity, the target addressable market for next year to raise up to $2.2 trillion. It's a huge opportunity worldwide. If we think about the services margin that we have with our own resources, with the people, the engineers that are actually delivering this kind of services, as of today, with professional services, we have around 30% margins. With services around managed services creation, we have around 40%. But if we go into programmability, programming services, we are talking about 70% and up. So the margins that they are going to see are much higher. It's worth investing in programmability and the skill sets that our engineers like us need. If we take a look at how partners are growing their software sales, we see a 3 points difference for partners that are already embedded into our DevNet initiatives, and I will just discuss a little bit more of that. But if you have more than 10 members working on DevNet initiatives, you will see that the increase in terms of software revenue increases around 3 points over the top. And then we see also that if you start developing and providing services on DevOps, so basically creating software that addresses real challenges, we see that for every dollar of product that you sell, we see 53 cents on top of that related to these additional services. So very, very interesting, and a very good reason why account managers, CTOs, and commercial people should be on board with you on this trip. The partner of the future in our mind capitalizes on some key trends. First, we make sure that everything that we do in the network is to provide value to the applications. We are application centric. We want to make sure that they get the same kind of experience that they might get in other environments. They get it also in the network. We make sure that the time to market for the end-to-end service is as good as possible. We want to make sure that we drive the loyalty of your customers with your managed services offering. We reduce the churn by making sure that the time to market is as short as possible, that you can implement quickly new features. And the way to do that is using APIs, is using automation, is using automated workflows for all the activities that you want to run. We want to make sure that the partner of the future also reach new buying centers. Remember when I mentioned that money is moving somewhere else? Well, the place where it's moving is to line of business owners. So we want to make sure that you can talk to those people. And you know what? Those people don't speak OSPF or VLAN. They speak a very different language on application development. So we want to make sure that we provide them with the value that they want. If you are into the software lifecycle, you will be able to monetize it in terms of recurring software, recurring revenue. You will be able to access this new source of revenue. And then, of course, we want to make sure that you build all of that in Cisco as a platform, because we provide the most comprehensive set of APIs for you. I would like to reflect on this quote that I love, which is that civilization advances by extending the number of important operations that we can perform without thinking about them. Like, for example, getting clean water at home. We don't have to be concerned about how it is getting here, or getting the trash to the trash can and not being concerned about where it goes. So with this idea in mind, I would like to reflect on what are customers looking for. Well, basically your customers are going to come to you asking you to build automation for them. And this kind of automation is what will enable them to start thinking about other things, about not being concerned about how the clean water gets home, about not being concerned how they will change the SNMP community strings in a 1,000 routers deployment. Sometimes, or very often, I would say, this is a low-hanging fruit. Building automation sometimes is as simple as 100 lines of Python code that solves a big problem for your customers. So it's a big responsibility and a big opportunity, very easy to attain low-hanging fruit for you. But customers also want partners like actions to deliver innovation to the business, to actually create things that did not exist. And it might be simple things like creating a dashboard for the specific metrics that I want to see in these specific devices of my network, or it might be about embedding existing workflows into what I need to happen for the new platform that I'm embedding in my systems. So all of these might be options around automation and innovation. But no matter what, from Cisco, our own software development initiative called DevNet is here to unlock all of those new skill sets for you. From Cisco, we offer you a programmable network. We offer you something that is available via APIs, and we want to make sure that you can use all those DevOps principles that have been so successfully used with software development into the network configuration. That's what we call Net DevOps. And this Net DevOps approach enables modern applications. So why infrastructure developers care about this? Well, basically because as an infrastructure developer, you want to automate the whole process of deployments, traceability, monitoring, etc. All the observability, telemetry, all of that is enabled also around APIs. I want to make sure that from the security standpoint, everything that happens in the network is reflected, also in the software level. And I want to make sure that we apply DevOps principles into the network configuration. Application developers also care about network APIs because they work in hybrid environments on cloud. They want the flexibility of public cloud environments, but also in the private environment, and that's what we call hybrid environments or multi-cloud. They are in love with infrastructure that can be digitized. So something like infrastructure as code, we can also enable that via APIs in your on-premises infrastructure. Getting visibility about application performance, what is happening in the network versus the application itself, the database, etc. And then the security capabilities that we were seeing in the infrastructure, how it can be notified into the applications themselves. So if you want to convince them, show them money, right? I mean, that's kind of the usual concern. So I'm going to show you a couple of projects and the deal value that we got out of those. But the main reason why I want to show this is because I want to give you ideas about what customers are actually looking for in the real world. So for example, this is the first project for $1 million per year. It's about a new user interface that the customer was looking for. They wanted a big red button that they could just use to isolate maybe a part of the network. Well, that was worth $1 million, and it was very, very easy to implement. Just a very, very basic new user interface that would allow non-technical IT people to operate the network easily. The second one for $2 million a year is how to provision large-scale network devices. So how to do things at scale. Automation plays a big role there. You can ask your system to do one thing, or you can ask your system to do 1,000 things at the same cost. In 1,000 routers, it's exactly the same cost for you as one router. So think about how large-scale devices benefit from this. The third one is about how to provide an enhanced user interface. Another user interfaces to provide integration in between device provisioning and services delivery, $5 million a year. And the jewel of the crown for $20 million per year. We are talking about a project where it's an integration project where you want to make sure that you put the customer process first and any kind of new systems that get into the picture need to be integrated into that without affecting how the customer operates. So this kind of integration, again, occurs via APIs, and the integration process is where you can bring value to your customer. So all of these are examples that you can use also with your account manager. Probably this will be the way that they will feel when you tell them about this. But I want to make sure that you make them understand that they are not alone, that we are not alone, that partners like Actions are not alone. From DevNet, we want to make sure that we bring you everything that you need to be successful in this path, both from the business standpoint and from your personal and career standpoint. We want to make sure that our APIs enable you to make innovation as easy as possible. DevNet embeds a number of things. From the community standpoint on the left, you are not alone, and you have plenty of code examples that you can use. You have a marketplace like Ecosystem Exchange where you can just publish your own offerings, and you will see how those can be leveraged by partners, by customers all across the world. We have the DevNet specialization if you want to go into that path. We have multiple learning options on the right for your technical audience, workshops, the learning labs, the certifications, same way as we have had very successful certifications in the past for our network infrastructure. We also have it for DevNet or software skills for the future. So everything, we got you covered. I will be very happy to answer any kind of questions online. If you get more questions, please stay in touch. Here you have all my details. It's been a pleasure to be here again. I'm really looking forward to see you next year in a live environment. Have a great rest of the week.